I'm here getting ready for bed and things are just on my mind, so I guess I'm just gonna chat with you while we get ready for bed. I might braid my hair. I don't know. We'll see. While we're waiting for the hair, I'm gonna put lotion on my legs. I'm using Bath & Body Works Happy Vibes because it was already half done, so I had therapy today, so a lot of things are on my mind. I'm mostly thinking about friendships, and I concluded there are two things that we need to agree on right now. First one is that relationships of all kinds, friendships, romantic, family, they end for any number of reasons, and that's okay. It's nobody's fault, unless you might feel like it's your fault, or, you know, if a confrontation is due, then go ahead and, I guess, do that and handle your biz. The second thing is that friendship breakups can hurt more than romantic breakups. There's probably, if like you're 30, or you probably had to say goodbye to a friend or two. Sometimes it's because you grew apart. Real quick, I'm gonna mention Insecure season 4, so if you haven't seen that, I'm giving you permission right now to leave here, go watch it, or, you know, get to the point where it's not spoilers, and yeah, come back. I'm also thinking about Broad City, like the whole series and how it finished, so that goes for that show too. If you are at all invested in it, or you have your own binge pattern going, then go ahead and just leave the room right now. So, Issa and Molly had a fight that we felt like their friendship was over. Sometimes it happens. With that, like, there was like going behind somebody's back and like getting permission from what's her name's, what's his name? The boyfriend, whatever. And there was sort of like a tentative kind of resolution. And then in Broad City, they were going to be in different areas, they were going to be in different states, and it seemed like that was going to be a deal breaker, or the way that the way the news was delivered, that seemed awful, but they ended up having a long distance friendship. And this is what we like to see in media, is happy endings, but sadly, real life is not always like media. Sometimes your communication is off, there's miscommunications, we step on or we step over boundaries, and we can't let go of the past, or we just change over time and somebody is kind of left behind or is out of sync as a result. Sometimes we straight up ghost people and we block all contact from that person. In Something Borrowed, Jennifer Goodwin gets the guy and gains some like self-respect by standing up for herself, but she loses her best friend Kate Hudson. In Bride Wars, another Kate Hudson movie, Anne Hathaway and she compete over like whose wedding is going to be better and whatever plot. Their friendship is compromised. They stay friends, and actually one of their weddings doesn't happen. The reason that I'm making this argument is that romantic relationships can last anywhere from like weeks to years, whereas most friendships tend to last for years. And in that time, you can have like 3 different partners, and your best friend is going to be there to help you with all of them, and that is helping you form a lot of like bonding moments and emotional intimacy. So when a friendship ends, that kind of like emotional intimacy, all the memories and the inside jokes can become really bittersweet, especially if it doesn't end well, or at the very least, they become memories of like what you may or may not have with that person again. And like I said, about the intimacy part, we have emotional intimacy with friendships. I think there can be some form of physical intimacy, like if you guys hug, or the way that you might play together if you have a handshake. And romantic relationships have physical intimacy and often emotional. Of course, if you date somebody who is like your friend first and then you break up later, it can feel like you're hit twice. I've had friendships suffer because I wouldn't cross the line and they didn't like being in the friend zone. Like, I thought we had a discussion and we came to an agreement, but I guess not. And on the other side, I've had friendships and because we did cross the line and it like into romance land and it got messy. So friendship breakups can feel like you've truly lost somebody, and if there's no communication about it, there's no official talk like we're not going steady anymore, you can be at a loss, like I don't even know what happened, or I don't know what I did. Am I supposed to feel bad? Am I supposed to apologize? Are they just busy at work? We didn't really have any like next like coffee date set up, so I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. Sometimes it can feel easier to like find somebody to warm your bed than it can be to like find somebody who really gets you and like wants to be weird with you and see multiple sides of you without trying to get with you 10 minutes later. And you know, while romance tends to lead to marriage and some form of commitment, lifelong partnerships or common law marriage, I don't know, flexible monogamy or polyamory in any form, friends and platonic relationships tend to just stay with you as long as they feel like it, until there's like a rift or like a significant change in location, power dynamics. Speaking of dynamics, for both of those Kate Hudson movies, she's the dominant type, which is fine. And she plays across from Goodwin and Hathaway, who are a little bit more submissive characters, which is also fine. But then they have their rise up kind of moment, their epiphany moment where they finally say no, and the characters like transform. And that is what we do like to see in media, is an underdog. I've experienced this in some form or another a couple times, but the first thing that comes to mind is my mentor, because I started to learn a lot. I went to teaching school and there was a moment where I noticed even outside of a classroom setting, he was using a teacher voice, but it didn't really make me feel good. I recognize the teacher voice because I have one too. But what I noticed is that the playing field kind of changed. Like when I first started to come to him, like he knew a lot about this content and about this world of knowledge, and I was kind of down here, but then like I started to go to school and now we're about here. So now it's at the point where I know stuff that you don't and you know stuff that I don't, so I guess we'll call it a draw. But our interactions started to I just didn't really feel all that good. So I thought our interactions have to be classified as either learning or socializing, but not both. because if I want advice, I will ask for it. But unsolicited advice just makes me end up feeling like, wow, I'm not gonna come talk to you about this anymore. And we do see this dynamic of like dominant and submissive. I wish that there were other words because this is not 50 Shades, but we see this in like Superbad and Booksmart, which I think is like the girl version of Superbad. But my question for you and anybody else is, does this power dynamic need to exist for a friendship to happen? Does there have to be somebody who is like going to take initiative and then there's going to be somebody who agrees to it? Does there have to be a leader and a follower? Is it possible for two or more people of the same character type to make a friendship work? And aside from those labels of dominant and submissive, because everybody has their, everybody has their time to shine and be in their element, and in this age of empowerment and what this channel is all about, we should be thinking about like raising each other up, and yeah, because we're all talented. So then it's more of a question of like, what kind of compatibility kind of combination works well? And then, is there a difference between men and women, or masculine and feminine people? Either way, we've all been there. I've been there. I've been on both sides of this. And romantic breakups for that matter. When I broke up with a friend, I actually ghosted her. I didn't tell her what was going on. I remember we had been on a trip together, and I could tell that I was changing a lot with like new experiences. That's a lot. I was changing with like new experiences, but it seemed like she was kind of staying the same. She came to visit me, and it was nice to have like a taste of home. She was having a good time in a new country and meeting a lot of people, but it seemed like there was always a problem and something to like rant about, and I just wanted everybody to like chill and lay back. I was also partying a lot. Party and sleep. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. She may have different viewpoints than I do about what happened, about the events that transpired, but I pretty much ghosted her, and I do feel bad about it. I didn't give her an explanation. I wouldn't handle it that way if it happened today, and I do feel sorry. But at the time, my fear of conflict and backlash, and I could hear her saying like, a real friend wouldn't do this, a real friend, blah blah blah, and all of that overwhelmed any motivation that I had to be amicable. So I didn't do anything. Let it roll off your back. The qualities that you can look for in a friend and a partner are often similar, and it can be looks, it can be compatibility, shared interests, ideology in politics, what you want your future to look like, and most of these can be satisfied in a lot of people. But sometimes it boils down to like the right place and the right time in your life. With romance, there's also sex. Whether or not you want kids, future plans might matter a little bit more. But there's so many great people out there. I know that I was just ranting a little bit and talking about some not so happy things, but there are plenty of good people out there. And I know right now your neighborhood might seem like it's really small and you can't sit close to anybody on the bus. You can't even take the bus right now sometimes. And but I promise, sports are gonna come back, activities are gonna come back, Rec and Ed is gonna come back, and bars are gonna come back, cafes and libraries and wherever you tend to meet people, and you are gonna go back to work in some way, normal work. It might not be in person, and maybe that's for the better, but wherever you meet people, you can be reunited with your squad. Actually, I was on Bumble for dating, but that got a little bit exhausting and I kind of found somebody who I do like, so I switched over to BFF mode. Seems like every video I make, I'm like promoting somebody, but nobody has approached me. I promise, nobody has approached me saying like, hey, it's Kit Kat, can you bite into a Kit Kat for us? That hasn't happened. Bumble BFF mode is just, it's full of people who are also looking for friends and they want to go on little coffee dates, they want to go for brunch, they want to go dancing and have a night out. I'm a little bit curious why I'm only seeing ladies and not guys. Like, I can have guy friends. I like guy friends. Respectable guy friends. Respectful, respectable guy friends. Because respect matters. All across everything. Anyway, that's all I have for you tonight. I showed you the lotion. This is the leave-in conditioner that I was using. I got it like in a beauty box thing, like a single swag or whatever thing. I was using jojoba oil on my face and I put a couple drops of tea tree in there, and I also have this conditioner thing that I used in the shower and it smells so good. I like want a smoothie right now because it smells like strawberry banana and I wanted to eat it, but they're like, don't eat it. Anyway, now I'm gonna go to bed with all my happy thoughts and dream about going to the beach or having a dance party, having a slumber party with my best friends. I didn't end up braiding my hair, but if you were braiding your hair while watching this, congratulations to you. I hope they turn out really nice. Let me know if you liked any of the content that you saw tonight or anything that you heard. Let me know what else you might want to sit and chat about. Do you want to see the hairball that I just made? No, that's gross. Don't do that. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, sleep, workday, weekend. I hope that you blossom today. I definitely feel like I blossomed today. It hurt, I cried, but we have a beautiful product at the end. So, I'll see you next time, and take care.